Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you again. Man, you guys are good looking good out there. Hey, welcome back to another great episode of The Big Show, hosted by myself, Jimmy Smith. The Big Show is a podcast where we discuss a bunch of great things. You know, we discuss things like modern day issues, men's health, masculinity, the hard truth about dating, and what makes a man. Alongside of me, good friend of mine, always here to make the show just a little bit better, my good buddy, Dwayne Ward. What's up, Dwayne?
What up?
Just a little bit better.
Just a little bit. Just a smidge. Just a little bit.
You know, there's been a few times that we've had some guests on the show, and we even had some personal friends of ours on the show. And you know, you probably have noticed that when we have a bunch of guys on the show, we joke around, we get under each other's skin a little bit. I mean, that's kind of par for the course, you know. Yeah. I think that a lot of guys, they kind of measure if another guy likes
you. Yeah,
with how often you guys bust each other's chops. And Dwayne and I have often said that when it comes to men, and this doesn't really transfer a lot over to women, act a little bit different in this regard, but when it comes to men, if a guy does not like you, he will either let you know he doesn't like you, or he'll just completely ignore you and want nothing to do with you. Ironically, the more he busts your balls, the more he probably likes you. And when you become friends with guys, I mean, 9 out of 10 guys, I mean, that's just par for the course, buddy. I mean, you're just going to have to get in there and deal with it. And you're either going to have to just sit there and get beat on, or you're going to have to get witty. But
yeah.
So today's show, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about ways to respond to insults and backhanded compliments. And it's not just for when your buddies bust on you. These are tips and advice that you can use out there in the workplace, out there in your personal life, when dealing with family, because we got a lot of family that definitely throws backhanded compliments our way. And then you always got someone at work that you talk to, and they're just sharp with the tongue. They're just like they hide behind this
verbal ninjas.
Yeah, they act like they're your friend, but they're just a POS. So, how do you deal with stuff? Do you go after them like a bull in a china shop? Do you play the nice guy? Do you take the high road? Well, the truth is it depends, right? And what I'm going to do today, what Dwayne's going to do today, is we're going to give you guys a handful of ways that you can handle when responding to these insults and backhanded compliments. In the intricate dance of human interactions, insults and backhanded compliments can often disrupt the rhythm, leaving us momentarily stunned and searching for, the right response. And a lot of times we'll come back to that later on the day, scratching our head going, man, I should have said this, or I should have said that,
Yeah.
So whether delivered with a sharp tongue or disguised beneath a veneer of praise, the verbal barbs that can catch us off guard, they test our resilience. They test our self-confidence. However, like mastering the art of responding to situations is not just it's not just about defending ourselves, but it's also an opportunity to show emotional intelligence, resilience, and also the ability for some of us to rise above the negativity.
Right.
In this exploration of the delicate terrain of human communication, we're going to delve into the nuanced strategies that empower us to navigate insults and backhanded compliments with finesse. So that's today. I'm going to show you guys how to do it with finesse.
Okay.
Finesse, big show. Okay. So from self-cultivating awareness to deploying tactful responses, Dwayne and I are going to embark on a journey today that not only shields us from the string of unwanted remarks, but also transforms the moments of these backhanded compliments into opportunities for personal growth and hopefully strengthening some of the relationships between you and said piece of crap person who says it. So dealing with insults and backhanded compliments is a complicated dance, and we all know it. All joking aside, it's a complicated dance because people are up in their feels. There's things that, the way you handle it with your friends will look different than the way you have to handle it with your coworkers. So
Right.
these remarks, they're like a double-edged sword, and they leave you at a crossroads of emotions. Should you feel flattered? Should you feel offended? Sometimes you're not sure. They have the unique ability to simultaneously acknowledge your strengths, but subtly undermine your confidence at the same time. That's why Dwayne calls them the verbal ninjas. It's a bittersweet situation that can leave you feeling a little perplexed, but don't you worry, we got you covered, because in this podcast, we're going to explore about 10 cool and tactful ways to respond to these tricky situations. So with these tactics and strategies, you'll be able to handle just about any underhanded comments with grace, with wit, and more importantly, with confidence. So stay tuned, everybody, as we uncover the keys to maintaining dignity in the face of disparaging comments, while learning to decipher the subtle nuances of these languages and ultimately mastering that delicate dance of responding to insults with poise and confidence. Now, as many of you guys may know, Dwayne and I are friends. So if you are a regular listener of the Big Show podcast, or if you follow Dwayne on social media, you're familiar with his quick-witted and snappy personality. I'll just leave it at that, okay?
Yeah.
You see, to be friends with Dwayne here, it means that you must also become friends with his insults and his backhanded compliments. And that's where the crossroads start, guys. You see, Dwayne's a good man. He's a good dude. He's there for you. But is it worth the price of admission? Having to handle with not only his flagellance, but also his unique ability to find out personal things about you and in your life, and then expose them, leaving you vulnerable and weak to those who are around you that hears the conversation. And you know what? Sometimes I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to wipe out all my friends, get brand new friends. So here's
is that your fourth wish?
See, here we go. Here we go already. Here we go already. See, some of you guys don't know what that is, and we're going to leave it that way, but that's a personal joke. He just stabbed me in the back just now. So, Dwayne, here, this is for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys 10 best ways of dealing with people or simply remaining friends with those who take utter pleasure in insulting you the way that this guy enjoys insulting me. Now, let's get started. The first thing that I normally do when Dwayne stoops so low, like he just showed, is my first tip is just ignore him. That's the first thing to do. Okay. Just simply ignore Dwayne, okay? Ignoring someone's insults can be a powerful and strategic response because it allows you to maintain your composure and rise above his negativity. Guys.
But what if that puts you into a hairy situation?
What's that?
What if that puts you into a hairy situation?
I feel like I'm going down a road here that's going to trap me, but I'll indulge. What do you mean by hairy situation?
Just a hairy situation. I mean,
I see.
You want to be a head above the rest and handle stuff. Okay.
So what he's done there just now for those of you who may not be as quick-witted as he is, he's made a joke about my male pattern baldness, and he used hairy and head both in two sentences to undermine my poor genes and probably enhance his long flowing gray locks. Okay, so let's just all work together to learn rule number one. We're just going to ignore him. Let's not just guys watching the podcast right now, don't even look at him. Okay. Just ignore him. Don't even look at him. We're going to pretend he's not even there, because by me choosing not to react to Dwayne, I'm essentially depriving him the response that he might have been hoping for.
Okay.
So and that is me being upset or me showing discomfort. In essence, ignoring the insult or backhanded compliment is a silent but yet powerful way of robbing the insulter of their intended impact. Plus, it leaves them feeling bad that their gamble to insult you failed to work, and they begin to reflect on how awful they behaved. So what we're going to do is we're going to give a couple seconds of silence to see if Dwayne feels bad about this.
Gonna go with a no on that one.
Dwayne, do you feel bad about this right now?
No, but I'm wondering, were you
No one cares. Number 2. All right, so number 2. Number 2 on how you can figure out how to respond to an insult or backhanded compliment is to say thank you in response. Just say thank you. Whenever someone insults you, just say thank you. Expressing gratitude in response to an insult may seem counterintuitive at first, but there are strategic and psychological reasons why it could be a positive approach. Here are some reasons why saying thank you to a person who has insulted you can be beneficial. Number 1, it diffuses tension. It helps you maintain composure, and it reflects confidence. So, Dwayne, thank you. Thank you for insulting.
All right. Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, when you were the stunt double for Dumbo, how did it really build your confidence?
I was proud of working with Disney. Okay.
All right.
So yes, and I can soar high above the clouds.
Okay.
So guys, you see what I did there? I diffused tension between him and I. I maintained my composure, and I still reflect the confidence that I can soar high above the eagles with these big ass ears of mine. Okay. So I'm not even worried about him right now, guys. Okay. You see, when it comes to diffusing tension, responding with gratitude instead of defensiveness can diffuse tension in the situation because it signals to the other person that their words haven't affected you negatively at all, potentially leading to a de-escalation of this conflict. And that's what I'm hoping for right here. I'm hoping for him and I to de-escalate this conflict that him and I are having right now.
Okay.
When you maintain your composure by saying thank you to a Dumbo joke, by the way, thank you. My ears are marvelous, by the way.
You can definitely hear me. Yeah.
I can even hear your thoughts. that's how big these ears are. But by saying thank you, you demonstrate emotional maturity and you maintain composure in the face of adversity. You see, this can be disarming for the person like Dwayne, who was delivering insult because as it may not yield the reaction that Dwayne was expecting. So it just maintains the composure. And it reflects confidence, which is one of my favorites. So thanking someone for their backhanded compliment that they convey, it brings confidence and self-assuredness. It also sends a message that you are secure in yourself, like I am secure in my baldness and my ears. And I'm not easily shaken by negative remarks.
Well, I was thinking of a potential backhanded compliment. I don't know if this would work or not, but Jimmy, your beard is almost in. You've been growing for what, about 4 months now?
Yeah, about 14 years, but go ahead.
About 14 years, yeah, and it's almost in. It's. I mean, you got some big holes there. I don't know, what happened there, but I think it looks really good for where it's at in the process.
Well,
so when you hit puberty, it'll eventually kick in, right? Okay, just checking.
I'm hoping that as soon as my balls drop, my beard will come in nice and thick, just like yours. So. Anyways, reflecting confidence the way that I am right now. This is just wonderful material we're showing you right off the cuff because I'm in the moment right now, reflecting confidence about my patchy ass beard. And what it does is it's my personal favorite out of the 3 because when I look into Dwayne's beady little eyes, I can tell that he is impressed with my confident demeanor. And every time I do this, I know it tears a little piece of his cold heart from his chest.
I don't have a heart.
Fair enough. So responding to insults or backhanded compliments with a simple thank you can be a powerful tool because the method is effective because it's unexpected. The insulter is likely anticipating a negative reaction from you, and you're not giving them one. So instead, by expressing gratitude, guys, you throw them off balance and you leave them bewildered. That's a brand new word for you, bewildered.
Bewildered. Okay.
Tactic not only diffuses the situation, but also demonstrates your maturity and unshakability. So now, with all that being said, Dwayne, how do you feel now? Do you feel any better? Do you feel insulted? Do you feel, I want to know how bewildered you feel right now.
I'm not feeling too bad, but I've always wondered, so with your incredibly small hands for your large body, how do you handle life's stuff there?
I'm lucky that I have small hands because it makes other parts of me look bigger when I hold them. So I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay, all right.
And look at this. Look at the comment section right now. I've got people already throwing me jokes. Pull up on a just call me a man.
Yeah, just show everyone all these ideas and tips that you have, and they're put under fire. Let's throw some stuff his or my way. You know what, people on Facebook and people on YouTube, you go ahead and you throw your compliment, your insults and comments my way.
How do you guys like my jacket, huh? Go ahead. You want to insult that or my patchy beard? You guys want to jump on the train? I don't care. I'm going to exude confidence and all the other BS comments I'm going to make today for you guys. Moving on. Tip number 3, guys, on how to handle insults like I'm getting from the crowd here apparently, is to acknowledge the positive part only. This one's actually a favorite tactic of mine when I'm given a backhanded compliment. Now, see, a backhanded compliment, folks, typically contains a semblance of praise wrapped in negativity. A backhanded compliment is it seems positive, but it has a negative undertone. Okay. It's also a favorite insult of Dwayne's, as they are subtle critiques or insults disguised to look like positive remarks, but they're not. You see, Dwayne likes backhanded compliments. These are also called they're known as left-handed compliments or double-edged compliments. Dwayne has mastered this tactic. Basically, the comment is meant to highlight insecurities or make you question something about yourself.
Right.
And as you saw, he's thrown a few of them my way. And again, so you saw some examples, but besides Dwayne's insulting poor behavior on this podcast today, and I'm going to give you guys some other examples of backhanded compliments that I wrote down that Dwayne has given me over the last few months.
Okay. Actually, I did want to compliment you though on your choice of watch today. I mean, that style went out a long time ago, but for you to revive it and keep it going is just, I commend you for holding on to that style.
This right here is a watch that you should get because I bought it to count calories. So.
Oh, okay. Well, mine would say 0 every day. So.
Your calorie count would say way higher than 0, my friend. So it also counts steps.
Steps.
That part might say 0.
That would say 0, yes. The calories, to be like a 5-digit number.
No, actually, you've been losing weight, man. You've been losing a lot of weight. So I'm going to be a bigger man and say congratulations on losing weight.
Thank you. Yes, I've lost a few pounds. Pretty happy with that.
Just look behind you. You'll find it.
Oh! And see, what I do is I go, that was a good one. That was a good one. That's my response. It's like, wow, you got me. My mouth is open. I got nothing on that. That's a good one.
So let me give you guys some examples of backhanded compliments that Dwayne has given me over the last few months. For instance, Dwayne has told me,
weeks.
He said, "You're so brave to wear that outfit. I could never pull off such a bold look." Backhanded compliment. He said, "You're surprisingly intelligent for someone who works out." Backhanded compliment. He also said, "You're so lucky to have a photogenic face. It really helps with your social media presence." Another backhanded compliment. And then I remember him telling me, "You're surprisingly articulate for a big guy." Guys, I just don't know what to say to such insults. I know he means them well, but I think Dwayne needs Jesus is what I think he needs. So we're going to leave it at that. So when met with such disrespect, I'll throw Dwayne off by simply focusing on the positive part only. So I'll respond with something like, "Yes, I agree. My face is photogenic, isn't it?" Or, "I appreciate the compliment on my intelligence. Thank you." Or, "You'll take pleasure in seeing the look on their face, like when they realize their insult didn't land the way that they hoped to." So just focus on the positive part of their backhanded compliment. Don't focus on the insult part of their compliment. Other examples of backhanded compliments would be something like if someone said,
"You walk like a messed up chicken."
Yeah. Or like, "You're a great leader for someone who's new to the industry." Or, "I love that you don't care how you come across." Or, "I don't get why you're single. You're gorgeous." Like that one girls will get.
Yeah.
Guys will get like, "Oh, you clean up real nice." Like that'd be a backhanded compliment. at work, you might get, hey, I didn't expect that from you. Nice work. Or girls might get, oh, you're real pretty for your age.
Ooh.
Yeah. Another one could be, I don't care what other people say about you. You're super nice. So those are
all the time.
There you go. So those are examples of like backhanded, left-handed compliment, double-edged compliment, if you will. If you guys get any of these double-edged compliments, just focus on the positive aspect of that comment and just completely disregard the rest. And by choosing to do so, you'll accept the compliment while subtly dismissing the insult part of it. And that approach not only neutralizes the negative intent, but also showcases your ability to stay positive and composed. So that's my trick to that. Let's go to the comment section. I see the comment section blowing up. Oh my goodness! Looks like we got Jeff on. We got Mike McDonald back on. Jules is back on. Alicia's on. We got a lot of people here, guys. We appreciate all the feedback here. Oh my goodness, you guys are something else. So, okay, number 4 on my top 10 list of how to respond to insults and backhanded compliments is just address the insult head on. You can just go a completely different way and you can just address it head on. Like a different strategy, other than the ones I just mentioned, was to manage or slightly or like a veiled compliment is just to address it directly. Like this means straightforwardly questioning the individual's reasoning for their remark. Like putting them on the spot to explain, like probing them about their statement's motive. By doing that, you're contesting their intent and holding them responsible for their utterances. And the method frequently results in an awkward revelation for the person who insulted them or insulted you, prompting them to rethink their behavior. So just like if they say something like, hey, you're just smarter than I thought you would be, you could say, hey, I'm curious, what does that mean? And then it just kind of makes like a silence, and then they kind of start to have this realization that I kind of insulted the person. So that you could just choose to address it head on. So I'm going to give you guys all the strategies. Another one, the tip number 5 is you can just simply keep your sense of humor the way that Dwayne and I oftentimes do, because humor serves as a very powerful tool to neutralize a tense situation. Yep.
Yeah, my world.
Yep, exactly. It helps neutralize, especially when dealing with like insults or backhanded compliments, because a clever, humorous response can catch the insulter off guard and disrupt their intentions. Like a lot of times when people insult you, they know what the aftermath is going to be. They know you're going to get defensive. They're expecting you to get defensive. They're leading you down a path. Their strategy sometimes behind them. So if you keep your sense of humor, it disrupts their intentions altogether. And by reframing the insult to a lighthearted joke, you can effectively shift the dynamics of the conversation. And this strategy not only diffuses tension, but it also leaves the insulter speechless, demonstrating your ability to maintain composure and wit under pressure. So using the humor when faced with insults, it can be a powerful way to demonstrate resilience. And let me give you guys a few strategies to keep humor intact when insulted. Let me think about a few. So like if you choose, like decide to approach the situation with a sense of humor, right? Recognizing that not every insult deserves a serious response.
Right.
Can sometimes be the best path, guys. Laughter can be the best way to handle it. Also, find the absurdity in it as well. So if you're trying to figure out how to make a lighthearted response out of it, look for the absurd or exaggerated aspects of the insult. Often insults are based on like stereotypes or misconceptions, and they can be humorous when you expose them. And then you can also use self-deprecating humor as well. So like if appropriate, and we do that as well. We always do it. So use self-deprecating humor to acknowledge the insult with a lighthearted remark about yourself. And that just sometimes takes the wind out of the insulter's sails and shows also that you don't take yourself very seriously. Right. So if you're looking for ways to, use humor, choose to laugh about it, find the absurdity in the insult, or just use self-deprecating humor, and that usually will get the person who's trying to insult you. It'll take the wind right out of their sails. Guys, while I'm thinking about it, if you guys don't mind, if you guys are enjoying the podcast so far today, make sure you click the like button. Also, guys, if you want to bring a little bit of fun and humor to someone that you care about, someone that you love, and that you know, share this podcast with them. We really appreciate it. There's going to be some really big things happening to Dad Talk Today with this podcast and a few others we got in mind in the upcoming months in 2024. So you guys, if you guys don't mind, become subscribers of the channel, click that subscribe button, and also ring the bell so that way when the videos do go live, you'll be notified for them. Let's move on to some other ways that we can respond to insults and backhanded compliments, because, guys, I really want you to have something more than just snappy anger in your arsenal, in your toolbox when someone insults you. I want you guys to have a plethora of ways that you can handle these things. And the sixth way that I think you can handle it is, honestly, to do nothing at all. If you want a way to turn it around and make them feel foolish, try that, because in certain situations, choosing not to respond to an insult or a backhanded compliment could be the most effective strategy. By not engaging at all, you allow the person's hostility to echo in silence, leaving them alone with their negative intentions. So think about it. They give you an insult and you just go silent.
Yeah.
And there's like this crazy silence that just
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. And that approach showcases your confidence and your composure. So depending on where you were insulted, church, school, work, things like that, where professionalism is needed, it shows that you can maintain your composure. And revealing that their words have no impact on your self-esteem or well-being.
Yeah, I mean, I use it a lot, and hopefully people are kind of gleaning kind of the nuggets here, but I use it a lot dealing with my ex-wife, dealing with all the different things that happened, because everything was, a veiled, either a threat or a veiled backhanded insults was famous. She was famous for those, or just outright insults. And my version is, either self-deprecating humor, which I didn't use a whole lot with her because I just basically would take what she did and then turn it around or ignore it depending upon what it was. Like if it didn't really deserve a response. I mean, a lot of the people probably on here are dealing, they're on here dealing with, ex drama issues and using a lot of these techniques. They can do that when they're responding to their exes, or it's not just for work and relationships and those other areas, but with exes, taking that but I would say also is you don't want to get into that verbal sparring match. I mean, we have those exes that love they'll just keep insulting because once they get that response, that's a response. Sometimes the gray rock method is kind of what you're talking about, with no response or a very limited one is the way to go. You've got to kind of figure out which one is the best response to give.
You do, and that's why I sat down and I thought about more than 3 or 4. I try to come up with a bunch of them for you guys, because it's really hard to determine which one is in order because everyone's situation is a little bit different. But doing nothing at all or ignoring the insult sometimes is the best way, because especially in terms of your ex, to Dwayne's point, I know enough about his ex to know that she knew his trigger buttons. She knew his do not push button, right? Yeah. And a lot of our exes know that. I mean, they know us pretty well. They know what takes us off center. They know how to get a seemingly calm person to raging
nutty.
Yeah, to nutty. And they want you to match their anger. And so what they'll do is they will purposely say things insulting wise to make you guys flip the script on them. And sometimes, guys, they're playing chess. Sometimes you may not give them enough credit. You might think they're very daft. You might think they're pretty linear. They're always playing checkers and you're smarter than them. And for the most part, you're probably right. But, everyone, like even a broken clock is right 2 times a day, right? So they might have something in the back of their mind where they need you to say something crazy so that way they can document it or have it down.
Exactly.
For them to use against you, because they need more arsenal. They need more ammo in their weapons. So they will purposely take you down a road because nothing else is working, and they got to take you off center to show what a crazy basket case you are to support whatever argument they're trying to do. Guys, I need you to be more intelligent than that. If the relationship is dissolved and you're working with an ex, tip number 1, tip number 6, tip number 1, of course, is to just ignore it. Tip number 6 is to do nothing at all. Those two might be a very good way on handling the insults. If not, then just throw humor in there, because honestly, their feeble to make you guys crazy is laughable. So maybe using the laughing one is the best. Or if you really want to get under their skin, if you want to flip it and make them mad, then just take the positive out of their backhanded compliment. So if they go, wow, you're surprisingly intelligent for someone who's does nothing else but is a plumber for a living. Like let's say she insults your profession, and you work as a plumber. Wow, pretty smart for a plumber, Then just go, yeah, I always thought I was pretty intelligent. Thanks. Yeah. And it'll probably just heat up the fire on her end. But I like doing nothing at all sometimes, because what you're demonstrating is that you won't be drawn to their negativity. Right. And it really helps you maintain your dignity and control of the situation. If you guys want another couple of ones that you can use too, is you could always flip the insult. That's tip number 7. Just flip it on them. Responding swiftly with a clever retort can effectively turn an insult back onto the person who actually made it. And this one's not for everybody. I'm gonna be honest, because this one I like to do, and Dwayne could probably pull it. Dwayne could definitely pull it off, but you have to be quick-witted. This, when you flip the insult, this is a strategy that requires fast thinking and sharp wit, so it's not going to be for everyone. But when you execute it correctly, it can be immensely satisfying. So it's high risk, high reward. This approach not only showcases your ability to think on your feet, but it also exposes the insulter's negativity, and it makes them the subject of their own insult. So, it's a really good one. Let me think. Let me give you guys some examples of what I might say. So on flipping the insult. So let's say that someone says to you, Dwayne, you're always so late. It's like you have no concept of time at all. You could say something like, well, you know what to say, fashionably late. I'm just trying to keep up with the trends. So that would be like a way that you could flip the script. If they say, you're really quiet in meetings, it's like you're not contributing anything at all. You could say, hey, I'm just making sure I leave plenty of room for everyone else's amazing ideas. It's a team effort after all. If they say, you're not as funny as you think you are, you could say, true, but at least I provide job security for professional comedians. That way they'll never have to worry about me taking their gigs. And if they say something like, man, you're always so forgettable, then you could say, I prefer to call it selective memory. It's a talent, really, but I remember all the important stuff, like where I hit all the good snacks. So, those are just some off the cuff examples that I would probably say if you're going to flip the insult, and it makes them, it shows confidence in your abilities. It shows that it doesn't take you off center, that you're not mad, and it shows that you're pretty witty as well. You got any good ones, Dwayne?
Well, it's like if someone calls you slow, or calls you calls you slow, it's like, well, it took your mom 9 months to make a joke. I mean, it all depends on, right. If you're bigger than them and you can run faster, it all depends. They're all scenario based. Yeah. Brandy does not get into that thing with me where she tries to insult me, because I'm usually ready to roll with something right back. But yeah, there's, the good yo mama jokes are always good. But yeah, being able to flip that script back, and usually if it's in a crowd of people, it's even better, because then they all start laughing, and then that just shuts it all down. You embarrass them, and it's over. One of the things you have to figure out the type of relationship that you have with that person, though. That's another thing. Like if they're your boss, or you gotta I don't do well with filters, but I have to try to filter certain things, because I hear stuff and I always want to respond to it. But yeah, you just have to be smart in how you respond.
Yeah, and you know, Jeff in the comment section, Jeff Reben, he when his ex insults him, he always says, "Well, hey, you married
me, yeah,
you picked me," you know. So, and then Joy says that her ex was notorious for this. It angered him even more when I quit responding.
the
So,
gray rock method. It is awesome. Yeah,
just I'm assuming she's probably referring to do nothing at all. One.
yeah, just the whole, and that's, I mean, you just have to figure out like what you're dealing with, because again, you're in ex's situation. They love that interaction and getting the negative comments and all that, because it spurs their day on. And sometimes the gray rock method, either sticking right to business or just completely ignoring it, it just makes the most sense. It's just, it's like, is that relationship worth engaging? And I'd say a lot of times it's not. I mean, it sounds like, Joy with her ex husband, that was how he got a reaction out of her, and she decided to stop playing. Moved on.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it.
Now, I haven't been married with kids involved. It's a whole lot different than being married with no kids involved. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you would know this way better than I would, Dwayne. Isn't there, when the two exes cannot play nice in the sandbox, isn't there a way that the government puts you onto a application where every correspondence is supposed to go through that app and it's monitored? Am I right?
My Family Wizard is one of the more popular ones. There's actually a competing one. It depends on the jurisdiction and all that stuff. But yeah, My Family Wizard, they're court admissible, and that's how you communicate with each other. It's funny because I was never on it, but I've witnessed some of the most outlandish conversations that, even presented to court. The judge didn't care. Of course, it was based on a little on gender, to be fair. But yeah, that's usually, they use My Family Wizard because they make money off of it. But
okay, yeah. So it's an app that they recommend. Hey, you two need to be on this, and then they make you pay for it.
They'll court order it, and I think it's like $1 a month or $2. I mean, it's not much, but again, by millions of people that are having to use it, it's how they make their money.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called My Family Wizard. It's a login app. I think it's an actual app as well. And then you'll comment, they'll comment, and then you do what you're looking at. It's all recorded.
So I'm curious. Whenever people get really ugly through text messages, how calm does their responses become when they're forced to use that app?
I've seen, I've read a lot of them, and people forget that they're on a court admissible application, and they lose their ever loving minds. They've shown me stuff, and I'm like, dude, you need to, take that down about 20 notches. Because I mean, I know what you're saying, and I'm going, dude, you're a little, off the rails. And it's just exes, they know how to push each other's buttons. This is a high volatile situation and all that stuff. So I get that part of it, but and you really need to. I would just say, in the ex arena, even if you're not on My Family Wizard and you're dealing with other stuff, understand that court document they can subpoena text messages, phone records, and all that stuff. So anything you write can be pulled in and become a court document. So, be careful when you write stuff. I mean, I always, and again, haven't been perfect. Obviously I had to learn on my own, but whenever you get a text or an email or whatever, I would never take a phone call from your ex. Never. I don't care how good you are. One, being around a block once, right, I want everything recorded. But I would, when I get the email or whatever, it's always filled with insults, backhanded compliments, all that stuff. And I would basically let it sit there for what, it wasn't, the kids, on fire or something. It was something that I could take a day or two. And I basically craft a response that I know that if it got in front of a courtroom, that, it would be solid. And I take about a day, and then I write, and I do a kind of a modified gray rock method answer. I just address, if she's insulting me, I got to the point where I ignored that stuff and then just address the kid only issue, or, if there was an issue, I would just address that. But I mean, as far as like ignoring, after, my divorce was over and all the shenanigans were done and everything, like 6 months or a year, I get an email from her saying that she wants to get back with me. I ignored that one. Ignored that one.
You definitely ignored.
Yeah, I'm reading it and I'm going, I just died laughing and went, yeah, we're going to this.
So if I'm curious, I don't mean to stray too far off the subject here, but I'm curious because you were saying something. So if the ex is always throwing insults, right? And let's say that it's all documented on this, what was the app called again?
My Family Wizard.
My Family Wizard. So if anyone that's having a hard time with their ex, if you want to make sure it's all documented, My Family Wizard is an app that that is admissible in court. It's monitored. That's the purpose of it. So kind of keep that in mind. But I'm curious. Let's say that you have one of the two parties that's always very insulting, always throwing backhanded compliments. The other person is not engaging, not throwing shade back, just basically either ignoring or just focusing on just the kids. Whenever they're reading that in court, do they take any of that into consideration at all, where they say she or he is a complete jerk all the time, and this guy or this gal is always right down the middle and pretty even keel? Do they even take that in consideration?
The ones that I've read, and again, I've sampled less than 1% of all the ones that are out there. They don't. I mean, I'll get requests that say, "Oh my God, my ex is cussing me out," and this, and it's men and women, but they're cussing me out, doing this, and threatening this, and they go to court, and the judge just says, "Yeah, whatever," and then moves on. Doesn't want to change anything. They usually up the guy's child support, but they usually don't do anything about it. I mean, no matter how egregious it is, they will just kind of ignore it. So. I mean, in a way, that could be your area to type in what you really want to say, although that would be the one that comes back to haunt you. But it doesn't really do a whole lot. I'm sure there's going to be someone's case out there. Yeah, when I did it, my ex-spouse said X, Y, and Z, and the kids got taken away. I keep trying to tell people that when you go through a divorce or a breakup and you go to court, your temporary orders generally become your final orders. And from the non-50-50 states and all that, usually, again, it's 85. Well, in Texas, it's like 95 now. It goes, to one parent or the other, and there's not really a whole lot that can change that, because everyone's like, my ex is crazy, my ex is on this, my ex has done this and this and this. Can I get custody? It's like, yeah, no, that's not going to change anything. There's certain things that you have to do that obviously outside the scope of the podcast here to move that needle forward. So. No matter what, I mean, I can talk from personal experience. I mean, my ex-wife was on a plethora of medications and said all kinds of stuff and did all kinds of things, admitted all kinds of crap, didn't amount to a hill of beans.
Wow.
I got 50-50 because I basically said, here's all my assets. Here you go. You can have it all. I just want 50-50. Both my attorney got fired, but her attorney was like, whoa. And my ex-wife happily signed it because she was getting a bunch of money. And then I got 50-50. I mean, that's how I did it. But that was sitting down, playing chess, going 90 to, I think it was like 93% of the ones in the county I'm in. I would be a weekend warrior. That's not the kind of dad I wanted to be. And I went, you know what? It's only a lot of money. I'll make it again. And, did my thing.
Yeah. But, and you knew what she wanted ultimately anyhow. And you gave it to her and she jumped all over the pin, didn't she?
All over it. Oh my God. She couldn't sign it quick enough.
So, I don't know, guys. You guys make your own decisions, of course, but hearing what Dwayne's saying, I mean, if them acting like a damn fool is not going to hold up much in court anyhow about demonstrating the kind of character or caliber of person that you're dealing with, well, then I don't know. If you think you're witty enough to flip back the script and go back at them, then why don't you go ahead and use tip number 7 of flipping the insult, and at least the person who's reading it at the courthouse will laugh at all your good damn jokes.
Yeah.
If you guys are not that good at being witty or whatever, then either ignoring them or just not saying anything at all would probably be the best one. But so far we're giving you guys a lot of different tips and things. I do have a couple more that I can give you. Number 8, the 8th tip is you can always question the insult. If you know that you're not witty enough to flip the insult, then consider going with a more conservative approach, like just questioning it. So encouraging someone to elaborate on their negative comments or insult can be a powerful strategy in easing tension sometime, because when you request clarification, you're indirectly questioning their validity of the statement or insult that they made. And that can often make the person rethink their words, as they might become aware of the negativity or the inappropriateness of the remark when prompted to expound on it.
Well, the negative statement is putting them under a spotlight in a negative way. So if I were to say something like, "Hey, Jimmy, why do you always have your shirt open? You know, you're the hairless wonder." And I'm giving this as an example, not a specific item. You could say, "Well, you know, what do you mean by that?"
I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? And of course, I would say, well, in every episode, you're always doing that. Yeah. Because I don't have a filter, but most people.
Can you guys smell my 1995 Jacquard Noir cologne that I spray on there?
God. Yeah, we actually had to tell Jimmy not to wear cologne out in the woods.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm looking damn good for them deer out there. I don't care.
You were.
I didn't see one damn deer. They had me in a box, everyone. They had me in a freaking box with a slit hole this big. I had a little pad that I could put my rifle on there, and I was waiting for deer. I spent the entire time talking to most of you guys on Facebook and Instagram. I was completely bored. I don't understand the whole fun thing about hunting. I am not cut out for this. Now, hold on. Okay, I am a man's man. I will hunt if I need to hunt, but for sport and for fun, I have yet to see the appeal in sitting out there for 4 hours in complete silence in a box that resembled a small prison. So
I can give you a reason.
Go ahead.
Get away from your spouse.
Oh.
I won't name names, and I'll just keep this general. The reason why men go hunting or fishing or whatever is quiet, it's peaceful, you get to reflect, and your spouse isn't around yakking at you.
Yeah. You know what? I can see that. I'm not a very big fisherman also.
Me neither.
You know, I don't really like fish. I'm a little more, I like sushi. That's probably my favorite. I do. What is there another joke in there? No,
there's I was hoping someone wasn't listening in. I was talking all brave. Hell, time to wrap the show, boys and girls.
Yeah, looks like you're going to be in that little freaking building that I was in involuntarily.
Well, that's why I've got a nice 67 Mustang out in my garage right now.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
So for those of you that do not know, Dwayne purchased a 1967 Ford Mustang that needs to be rebuilt, and that was one of his childhood dreams to be able to recondition an old Mustang and do it with his kids. And man, his kids are in the perfect years right now to help him go out there in the garage and do it. Dwayne, hopefully he's still got a few more years left in that broken ass hip of his. So I'm looking forward to the progress videos.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, well, that's actually be a good insult. Now I'm thinking about it, like that you could have done to me, like, you know, your hip. You know, I got an old ass hip. It keeps popping on me, and I'm like, I can't. And my self-deprecating humor would be, I mean, blowing a back out has changed meaning over the years for me.
Yeah. But I definitely want to see pictures of you crawling up under the car, and then I want to see pictures of you trying to get out from under the car and get back up on your feet with your geriatric hips and bones and stuff.
It's like a 4-step process. I'll admit, it's there on my knee, and then I go up, and then I'm up, and I'm holding this, and I'm, you know.
Are you going to get one of those little roller things?
Where I got a creeper. I got a creeper. I've actually been underneath the car a couple times. Takes me about 5 minutes. Do what?
For some reason, that name suits you very well.
I'm a creeper. Yeah, I got that. Actually, you know, going way off here, but yeah, I'm looking at having to pull the engine. I got to get a cherry picker. I mean, I know insults and back compliments, but I would say for guys, if you could get yourself a project car and start working on it, it's just so cool doing it. Turning wrenches is such a guy thing, and it's wonderful. I am totally enjoying it. Busted knuckles and all.
I'm going to leave the deer hunting stands and the car reservation to you, my friend.
Okay.
It ain't my thing. But Brandy has a comment for you.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead. Yeah. And she's absolutely right. The old age. And see, this is when she pops that out. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You got me on that one. I'm usually about 2 days or more after I do something strenuous. Like lifting a large woman up on Thanksgiving Day and blowing my back out for 4 days. But yeah.
Large woman he's referring to is not Brandy, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh. You see a red dot in the back of my head.
I got you back, bro.
Thank you.
You insult me, and then here I am being nice to you, and
I know.
That just proves who the good person is out of the two of us. I'm just going to say that. Okay.
You a better man than I am. Yes.
I'm going to get into the pearly gates probably a little. I've got a fast pass into it. You're going to have to check documentation before you get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But guys, tip number 8 is question the insult. So again, if flipping the insult is something you guys want to do but don't feel you can probably pull it off, then go with questioning the insult, because again, it can often make that person kind of rethink their words. They might be aware of the negativity. They might be aware of the inappropriateness of the remark. Who knows? Essentially, this approach of like questioning insult, it instigates like an inward look into the person who's making the insult, and possibly, not always, but it could cause them to acknowledge and rectify their conduct. So like if someone says like, hey, you're not as smart as you think you are, then you can say, hey, I respect your opinion. What specific instances or areas do you feel I might be overestimating my abilities? And then it'll throw them off guard when you turn right around and say something professional and calm, and you're just saying and not defensive, right? I mean, because that's a pretty imposing insult.
Because I would have said something like, well, I've seen the people you've dated. Pot kettle. I mean that's my style. I'd be like right back at you.
Yeah. And if it's someone that you know personally, rock and roll, throw your daggers. If you're at work and someone says something like that, then maybe just keep it professional. And maybe say, listen, if they say, hey, Jimmy, you're not as smart as you think you are, and if I'm at work, I would go, hey, you know what? I respect your opinion. If you don't mind me asking, what instances or areas do you feel that I might be overestimating my own abilities of intellect, if you don't mind me asking? And then I'll look right back at him and not say anything. And I'll have my head tilted like
a little RCA dog action. Yeah.
With my metaphorical middle finger up,
Yeah.
But and it'll oftentimes help them kind of like re-question their validity, because now they have to answer for it, and then try to give some instance, and they usually will start stuttering or backtracking or whatever. Yeah, exactly. But remember, guys, the key here is to keep your tone calm and genuinely seek to understand the basis of the insult. Okay, so especially if you're in a professional environment, and by asking questions on the insult, you not only invite a more constructive conversation, but also you're demonstrating your willingness to engage in self-improvement to some degree. Yeah. If you're genuine and you're not a smart ass like me, really wanting to, them to eat their own words. But if some of you are better people than I am and you really want to learn, then it shows that shows your willingness to do so, I should say. Two more tips. Number nine on ways to respond to insults and backhanded compliments is you could always appreciate their honesty. You could try that one. Yeah. Just expressing gratitude towards the person for their honesty or their observation. It is a strategic way to handle an insult. The method takes the negative comment and it flips it around by showing appreciation. And that can leave the insulter unsure about how their words have been received. Moreover, it demonstrates that you're not perturbed by the negativity, maintaining your composure, your dignity, and ultimately this approach can disarm that person, highlighting your resilience.
It's a great way of pointing it out. Disarming. That is in your mind when you're dealing with somebody. And again, it doesn't matter who that person is. You're trying to disarm it in some way, and your response is trying to figure out the best way to disarm the insult or the backhanded compliment.
Exactly. So that's why we're giving so many different ones, because you guys are going to have to be the one to pick and choose on which one of these avenues you're going to do. But if you choose to go towards the avenue of appreciating their honesty, this approach might be a safer path to follow if you're being insulted at work or where professionalism is very important to maintain. Again, it just demonstrates that you're not perturbed. It maintains composure. It maintains your dignity. To Dwayne's point, it can show how it can kind of disarm the person, and it highlights highlights your resilience and your ability to rise above negativity.
Well, you look like a stud. I mean, you come off, you do it the right way. Everyone's like, wow, he knows how to handle this.
Yeah. It really gets under certain personality types whenever you do that, because they know they could have never done that should they have been on the receiving end of that insult. Yep. So it really gets under their skin if you just act professional and just say, hey, I completely appreciate your honesty. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll do better, and I'll see if I can work on that. And then they're like, dang, you know what? It's hard to not like someone like that.
Yeah.
So anyways, and then the last tip that I have for you guys, number 10, is you can just change the subject all by yourself. You just completely change the subject altogether, like acknowledging an insult with a simple thank you and swifting the conversation. It's an effective way to navigate negativity. That approach acknowledges the comment without giving them the power to affect you. So it shows that you have control over the direction of the conversation as well. And then try changing the subject to something lighter. Steer the entire discussion towards a more positive or neutral topic. Doing that, you prevent the negativity from dominating and dampening the interaction. Overall, this tactic helps maintain a healthier atmosphere, demonstrating your ability to manage and deflect adverse situations. So, just ignoring it and just changing the subject sometimes is the best way. Guys, I give you guys a bunch of conservative all the way to just bull in a china shop ways of handling insults and things like that. How you guys respond and which one you guys choose is going to be situational, based on your personality, based on your talents, based on your wittiness, based on your character, based on the situation of where and who and when the insult was thrown at you. There's a lot of ways there's a lot of things you're going to have to factor in when choosing one of those. But I would say always err to the side of humor, err to the side of letting them know that it didn't get to you, err to the side, like if you want to find out or stop it, then you could always question the insult and just do it in a very non-brash, non-threatening, non-defensive way. Really trying to identify and understand why they would say those things and make them kind of have to explain themselves a little further. You could always go that approach too if you're just not witty enough to come back with something snappy. But anyways, Dwayne, what you got for me? Got anything else? We got some people in the comments section.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the things is also just making sure that it's actually an insult or a backhanded compliment, because I mean, today we're all tender and we all in our feelings and all that nonsense. And someone could say something that they intended to be a compliment, but you've taken it like an insult. And it's just the way they word it. Sometimes people just, they're morons with their words and they don't say it the right way. So sometimes just seeking to understand, you got to figure out the relationship that you have with them. Is it someone on the street? Is it someone you've known for 20 years? Is it, what type of relationship it is? Because, I mean, in the real world, I manage teams all over the world. And I remember early last week, one of the guys, because I have a good relationship with him, he stayed late, knocked out some stuff, and made sure the team was good to go. And I'm on the phone and I've got 20, 30 people on, and I'm like, yeah, with I won't say it, Bob. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take back some of the things I've said about Bob. And, I mean, if you were to read a transcript, you would go, well, that sounds like an insult. I got to take back some of the things I said about him. Right. But everyone knows that I meant it as a joke, and it was actually, it actually made him even look better. I mean, so when you receive what you perceive to be an insult, check the relationship, make sure it's an actual insult or an actual backhand compliment. And that's usually if you have some kind of relationship, like they have a history of giving you. I mean, we all know people that they can't ever say something nice about. You could cure cancer, save a bunch of kids from burning building, whatever, and they'll find something negative to say about it or some way to give you a backhanded compliment. That's the kind of person that you want to employ a lot of those tactics. Also, one of the tactics that you can use though is I use the wow. Like if someone were to insult me, I'd say, "Wow, that's interesting," and just sit there and just watch the tension build. And, sometimes they'll say, oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. And you go, then of course, the shoes on the other foot, or kind of the right saying here. And you go, no, it sounded like you meant that. What's your deal? What's going on here? And put them in the hot seat. It's one of the many different ways. And you have to do that.
Yeah, you kind of blend two of those the tips into that one. The one where you kind of don't say anything at all. You still technically said something, but it's still the same awkward silence happens after you say wow. And then you go into questioning the insult. So you kind of do two of them at once. But looking at the comment section, I can tell that everyone's kind of going through it to some degree. I mean, everyone has a situation, it seems, and they all have their own ways of handling things, whether they just don't say anything at all. They flip it around. Josh says that I just got done winning his custody order. Congratulations, Josh. Beautiful child you have out there. But she still plays head games when money is involved. Yep. No surprise there.
Got to play chess with her. You got to realize that the next at least 18 to 21 years, you're going to be dealing with that. And it's best have your game plan now. Figure out, do I go red rock or gray rock? I mean, you know your ex-wife better than I do, but you may end up writing pages of emails back and it's not going to do anything. So adopt a gray rock method, or figure out the best way to respond to her so you can move on with your life and get out of that mental real estate.
Sure.
And I saw one other comment there. Yeah.
Kristen said that it's hard to swallow sometimes. Fair enough. Marie said when she deals with people that are rude, she just shuts down, don't communicate. So everyone has kind of their own little thing. Jeff has a question. Looks like I'm not up on technology, but if I start watching the podcast from the smart TV, can you leave comments? You should be able to. I mean, if you're on a smart TV and you're logged with YouTube or Facebook, but he would need one of those little.
You're gonna be like the flip phone days trying to send a text.
Yeah, it's really hard. Technically, you can do it if you have one of those keyboards on your smart TV, but taking the remote control and trying to find the R and the T and the S is going to take you 4 minutes to say one sentence. It's you're probably just going to get frustrated and not even do it. I would probably just do it from your smartphone or something like that. Probably easier. But let's see what. And then Kristen says the biggest thing to remember when dealing with this is a lot of times a person is projecting on you and take it too personally. You don't know what kind of day they're having. That's a very good point. Mm-hmm. I would say that 8 times out of 10, Kristen is probably dead on. They're probably having a crappy day, and they're just bitter on something that has nothing to do with you, and you actually were caught in the crossfire. Taking Kristen's approach and kind of having that paradigm when responding to an insult, and kind of knowing that they're just being jerks. Same thing when you're in traffic also. Same kind of concept. People are being jerks on the road. They're probably just having a bad day. You don't know what they're going through. Easier said than done, guys, because we all get a little defensive. We're all a little territorial, especially if someone that you love is insulted. You want to jump in there and fight for them. Situations are always different, but Kristen is right. It's more times than not a situation where they're just having a bad day. But let me give you guys my final thoughts. In conclusion, it's crucial to understand that when someone resorts to insults or backhanded compliments, to Kristen's point, it's oftentimes a reflection of their own insecurities or their own issues rather than an accurate assessment of you. And in the intricate tapestry of human interactions, the way that we respond to insults or backhanded compliments serves as a reflection of our own emotional intelligence, resilience, and personal strength. So kind of keep that in mind, guys, because choosing to respond with grace, wit, or strategic questioning is not merely about defending our ego. It's also a powerful assertion of self-worth and a commitment to maintaining healthy communication sometimes. So properly responding to insults and backhanded compliments, it's a testament to our ability to navigate the complexities of social dynamics with finesse. It enables us to rise above the negativity, diffuse potential conflicts, and it fosters an environment where constructive dialogue can thrive. And in the greater theater of life, our responses become a script that shapes the narrative of our personal growth and our relationships. So by choosing thoughtful and measured reactions to situations, we not only disarm those who seek to undermine us, but it also empowers ourselves to transfer moments of adversity into opportunities for learning and self-discovery. In essence, the way that we respond to insults is a profound expression of our character. It influences the quality of our interactions and the depths of our connections. So as you navigate the delicate terrain, let your responses be a testament to your resilience, strength, and commitment to cultivating a positive and harmonious existence amid the adverse and volatile of people's interactions and the way that they treat you. Maintain the positive person you are. Maintain your confidence in the face of such negativity, because if you do that, it's a testament to your strength and character. You don't have to have the power, or let me say this, you don't have the power to control how people treat you sometimes, but you do have the power to control how you react. Mm-hmm. And you have the power to let these comments affect you. So don't allow anyone's negative words to diminish your self-worth or dampen your spirit. Guys, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in to another day of episode of today's Big Show. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. The Big Show is a podcast where we talk about all kinds of great things. So make sure that next week at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, you guys tune back in to see what Dwayne and I are going to talk about next week. In the meantime, don't forget to like and share the podcast with someone else. If you feel that it was a topic that you guys enjoyed and it helped you guys out, share it with someone that you think might help them as well. You guys have a great week, a safe week. You guys stay blessed, and we'll see you guys next Sunday evening, okay? You guys take care.